As the markets tumble internationally, although as we just heard, Europe's not doing too badly. On the home front, there's a political argument developing over economic credibility. The opposition says some parts of the economy are already in recession and the government should come clean about it. But as he collected his gong for Finance Minister of the Year, the Treasurer said the coalition should stop talking the economy down. From Canberra, here's our political correspondent Tom Eagleton.
Music to the ears of Wayne Swan as he picks up his gong for World's Best Treasurer.
Despite strong opposition at home, our Finance Minister of the Year has succeeded in getting most of the important decisions right.
Euromoney magazine gives the Treasurer kudos for the timing of the 2008 stimulus package and its withdrawal. Mr Swan says it wasn't easy.
And yes, we do have a bounty when it comes to resources. But good fortune is not an explanation for economic success. Australia's success is one of choice, not one of chance.
Australia's position within the global financial community has never been stronger than it is today.
But that's not how the opposition calls it.
I think there is a case for the Reserve Bank to now start to cut interest rates because the economy is already starting to tank in various areas. Some of our sectors are technically in recession now.
He's just got his facts wrong and he's out there undermining confidence.
Bank boss Ralph Norris also shot down Mr Robb's suggestion.
Unemployment levels are still very low by any comparison at just over 5%. We also saw strong growth in GDP in the previous quarter. And so at this stage, it's hard to make a really strong case that we should see interest cuts.
But with world markets falling and commodity prices sliding, the Treasurer says the government's promise for a surplus in 2012-13 is looking shaky.
Common sense says that conditions have changed and that task gets more difficult because of global economic conditions.
Tony Abbott says the promised surplus was never in the bag.
This is a government which will predict plenty of surpluses, but it's never going to deliver them, and it's always going to find an excuse. It's always going to blame someone else.
Ralph Norris says a surplus is important, but the timing can be flexible.
I mean, if it had to slip a year or two, and because of a difficult situation economically, then I don't see that as being a major problem.
But Tony Abbott apparently doesn't believe the government will survive long enough to see if its budget surplus promise comes to fruition, reportedly telling colleagues to prepare for a December election with Kevin Rudd as Labor leader.
There's been an air of impermanence about this government from the word go. We take nothing for granted. The government could collapse tomorrow, it could go for 2 years.
But in what's become an almost daily practice, Labor ministers backed Julia Gillard.
The Prime Minister is very secure and the Prime Minister will lead us to the next election.
Julia Gillard is the Prime Minister, she's a very good leader and she's going to lead this party and government for a long time.
Presumably whatever the prevailing economic conditions. Tom Eagleton, Lateline.